there's tons of money out there. The cool part about this early stage funding is that a lot of times there's people with money or resources, and they want to absorb a little bit of that infectious passion that you have for your product. Hey you. Okay, welcome to the very first episode of Seed Money. I am so excited to be here. Definitely a little bit nervous, but mostly super excited. This has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to start a podcast forever. I was going to do it for some other people, but here I am going for it. I am also the kind of person who, when I do something new, I tend to kind of research it to death. So I'm happy to just hit record finally and get the first episode done because I've been kind of anticipating it way too long. So anyway, excited to be here. And what I want to cover on the first episode are just a few things. I want to talk about why seed money. And I think this will relate to you if you're listening and you are at this stage right now. I think you'll identify with this, right? So I really want to touch on that. And then I want to talk a little bit about, kind of my experience with seed money as well. So you know where I'm coming from and a little bit about my background. You can get to know me. So anyway, okay, seed money. It is so much more than money. There is so much power and determination and passion around that stage of going out to get seed funding. It is incredible, right? And it's like my favorite part. Of course, there's so many different dynamics and cool stages of business, right? But there's something about if you're a person, right? Okay, let's say you're somebody and you've got an idea or a product, or you've put some of your own resources in, and you are at the stage where you're ready to go out and get some sort of outside funding or resources. Maybe you need an expert on your team, or you need financing or funding or whatever, right? But you got to make that commitment to go out and get those external resources. The amount of drive and determination you have to have is like such a crazy life force. Like the times when I've felt the most invigorated and alive in my life are those times when I have been going after something new like that, and I've committed and I'm all in. It's just like so much fun. Now, don't get me wrong, it can be super intense and stressful too, but it is like so much fun. So I think also, when you have that much determination, I believe, is one of the most powerful forces in the world. I mean, people have done some crazy shit just from being completely determined, right? With all odds against them. It's insane. And when you're determined like that, you have to have such a strong sense of purpose. And I think as humans, that's like a little bit of what we're all looking for, is a sense of purpose. So I think there's something so special about that stage in particular, and I love it. It fires me up. It's exciting. And I'm excited to talk to more people, and my hope is to inspire people at that stage to go after, what they're going after, and also to share what I've learned along the way and what all these other entrepreneurs that we're going to talk to and investors, advice and lessons that they've learned, so you can make navigating the process a little bit easier, which we could all use, right? The last part there is just that I believe we are so lucky to live where we live. I mean, we live in a place where we are legitimately encouraged to think outside the box, to go after our dreams. It's not like that everywhere in the world. We are so fortunate. So I just love it when people are taking advantage of those opportunities. It's so fun and exciting, and it's just inspiring. I just heard the other day that inspiration is a vision of the future without obstacles. And it's so important to stay inspired when you're in this process. And I just hope to be able to add a little bit to that, right? I think it'll be a lot of fun to do this and hopefully connect with a lot of fun people. So that's a little bit about why seed money, why I'm focused on that topic specifically. the other thing around that is with all that passion, not everybody has the guts to do that, right? It definitely takes some guts, and you gotta be just have a conviction for it, right? And not everybody has that, and that's okay. I get it. But sometimes, at least for where I've been at in the past, I've felt like, oh my gosh, I need that. I need funding. I need that expertise. And you can feel a little bit like desperate, like, how am I going to get that? Whether it's, expertise or resources or a manufacturer or whatever it is, right? But the other thing that's so important to remember is that there's tons of money out there. And the cool part about this early stage funding is that a lot of times there's people with money or resources, and they want to absorb a little bit of that infectious passion that you have for your product or whatever you're doing, right? So just as much as you might need the funding to get your product off the ground or get your app developed or whatever it is you're doing, there are people out there who equally want to be a part of what you're doing, and they just want to have that opportunity to be a part of something cool and exciting. So it's just a numbers game. You just got to find those people. That's all it comes down to. Okay, so as for my experience fundraising, I've started 2 businesses in recessions. I went out, I raised money. I had 0 track record in the industry I was raising money in. It was right after 2008. It was in a brutal industry of alcohol that is known for, being difficult and a lot of regulations and hard to be profitable. I said I had no track record in this industry, right? So no experience. And I was still able, and I had no revenue. I had no sales yet. Okay. So if I was able to raise money when I had, when there was a recession going on, I had no track record, I had no sales, and I was in a brutal industry, then I know that you can do it too. Like, where there is a will, there is a way, and it is possible. Okay. So I know that to be so true. I believe that with all my heart, right? Where there is a will, there's a way. I spent 7 years in product development, and it was all about that, right? It's like you go to a factory and they say, oh, you can't do that. And you're like, let's look at it from a different angle. I think we can figure that out. Let's figure that out. Figure it out. So you just keep peeling back the layers until you figure it out. And it's the same thing in this process. So you just have to have a plan, be organized, know your stuff, be confident. And these are all things we're going to cover on this podcast, because these are the things that I believe are so important, right? But with that, you legitimately, I believe you can do anything that you set out to do. So that's what we're going to cover on this podcast, more or less. And that's why I'm doing this. My business today is actually a hospitality real estate company. I've learned some lessons along the way, and I've learned not to burn myself out anymore. And I've got a great business, but I've fortunately gotten myself out of most of the day-to-day and freed myself up to be able to do this, which I'm super excited about. So I look forward to the next one. Please subscribe, share with your friends, help a girl out, and do what you can to spread the word. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.